church, but then we start to doubt if we're really leaving changed. Amen. We fast, but we begin to doubt the power of it all. And so instead of getting the boost that we need, we often put the very weapon that we need away, which is ourselves. We are God's greatest tool, yet we hide. We're the very person he desires to use and dwell in, yet we doubt. And the enemy all the while is jumping for joy because he realizes there are certain missions that only you can accomplish. There are certain people that only you can reach. But instead of going forth on what God calls us to do, we hide and complain. And we whimper and we get into a pit. Amen. A pit of depression. Anybody know what I mean? A pit of low self-esteem. A pit of worry, doubt, and sometimes even a pit of suicidal thoughts. Some of us get to a place where we rather lose our lives than live it. And yet not realizing that all things of value are only hidden for a season. That's right. Diamonds are hidden in the rough until they're discovered. Amen. Seeds are hidden in the ground until it's time for its fruit to be displayed. Yes. And even the very intended image of pottery is hidden until it endures the process. Amen. Yes. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. First, when we look at this process of pottery, when we do our study, we see that the clay must first be thrown. And we say, what? And this process is called wedging, in which they knead the clay, meaning they press and push until the air bubbles are out. Amen. Stay with me. These air bubbles have to be removed in order for the clay to stay centered during the throwing. Many of us feel like we're being thrown, and all of the air, all the life in us is being pressed out, but it's being pressed in order to keep you focused in line during the process. Amen. Then the clay, as we observe it, is put on the potter's wheel. And while it's on the wheel, it's important to ensure that this clay stays wet. Sister Mary was up here singing, and I said, she's going to preach my message with the word, because if we look at this and it gets sticky and the potter has to add more water, and as it gets sticky, the potter's adding more water to the point where the clay is probably feeling like it's drowning. Amen. The very things that we feel are drowning us, are adding to our farm. So you get thrown, and then you get drowned with all types of multiple madness, craziness on your job, craziness at the school. As soon as you get home, your husband's crazy, then your kids are crazy, then your finances are crazy, your money's funny, and your change is strange. Everything is going crazy. You feel like you're drowning in bills, heartache, stress of work, school, and issues. All trying to overwhelm us. Amen. But then we look in the clay, then sits, and it must be given time to dry. If I were this clay, I imagine it sits in isolation by itself, wondering what has happened to me. Because I was just thrown. And then I was drowned by this water. And in the same way, we're there sitting, and after being thrown and drowned, this is often the point where many of us break. We give up because we say, I've done too much of this. You know, too much of this church stuff. Too much Joyce Myers, too much Kenneth Copeland. I don't have time for this, because the more I read, the more I praise, the more I get thrown. Amen. The more I read, the more I fast, the more I get drowned in mess, and I don't understand. And we say, God, I can't take another minute of this. Amen. I don't know what you're doing, and honestly, at this point, I don't care, because I'm done. I'm exhausted, I'm tired, and I'm finished. Amen. And then right when we think things have calmed down, because we're alone by ourselves. Have you ever felt like you've been in that place where nobody's around, nobody's answering the call, nobody wants to answer your text messages, and you know they see you on Instagram and Facebook, but nobody's sending you anything, and you say, this is what I need people the most. Where's everybody at? Amen. And then right when we think that we're at a place of calamity, the clay has fire put to it. Amen. And this firing is done between 1700 and 2600 degrees. This firing is done at a place where the pottery is close to being destroyed. Amen. But its intent is to make it harder, to make it stronger, and to make it resistant to being broken. So in the same way, God will put fire to us. Amen. So that we can't be broken. Amen. Look at your neighbor and say, I can't be broken. So many of us are in this fire process right now. Things are all arrayed, and we feel like we're making you harder. Amen. It's making you stronger and resistant from being broken. Amen. We find ourselves in a situation like our brother Gideon in our text. In verse 11,